I've only got Jeff Berry. Yeah, I've got him as state rep. I've got Andre as state rep. Just want to make sure because I've only got two. I'll go grab a water real fast. We're going to go ahead and get this started, so if everybody would find their seat. Yeah. I think I got it.
Got it, Lainey? Okay.
Okay, good morning. We're going to start the ceremony as the pipes kick us off. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pearland Fire Department. We do have a lot of local folks that have traveled not very far, and we have quite a few folks that have traveled from DFW and other states. My name is Shane Bridges. I'm the Division Chief of Training here with the Pearland Fire Department. I would like to introduce all of our special guests. If everyone would please hold the round of applause, as this is a very long list. I'd like to introduce Mayor Kevin Cole, City Manager Trent Epperson, Deputy City Manager Ron Frazier, Assistant City Manager Victor Brownlees, Assistant City Manager Chad Randall, We have our city council members, Tony Carbone, Rick Fernandez, Clint Byram, Laney Cade. We have State Representative Jeff Berry, Police Chief Johnny Spires, Assistant Police Chiefs Derek Dunham and Patrick Savage, representing the Texas Fire Chiefs Association and the Sugar Land Fire Chief Mark Campese. We have retired Irving Assistant Chief Rusty Wilson. Thank you all for being here today. I would like to invite Councilman Byram to deliver the invocation.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. I will say of probably the faces in this room, I may be the youngest in relationship with Chief Taylor. We met each other a couple of years ago when I decided to run for council. He's one of the first people that said, "Tell me what you need." And that speaks to the heart of who he is. I want to share with you guys Matthew chapter 20, verses 26, 27, and 28. Says, "Among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must become your slave. For even the Son of Man came not to serve, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many." And when I think of Chief Taylor, that's what I think of. I think of service. You've been a great friend to me. I look forward to continuing to have years of friendship as neighbors and members of our community. But those of you who have worked with him, who have served under him, I think every one of you would agree that is his heart. He is a man that has chosen to serve for his entire life. So I'm honored to stand here today to pray over you, to pray with you, and to honor you in retirement this morning. So if you would bow your heads and pray with me. Lord God, we thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity to come before you this morning and celebrate a life of leadership and a life of service. Father, we thank you that Chief Taylor has brought a heart for you and a heart for your people to an industry and to a profession that chooses to serve in some of the most difficult and dangerous situations that arise in our lifetime. So, Father, we thank you for bringing him safely through decades of service to his community through the fire department. We ask that you would be with him and his family, that you would lead and guide him in this next chapter of life. For, Father, we know that though he may be retiring from fire service, you are not done with him and you are not done with the heart that you created within him. So, Father, thank you for today. Be with us each as we go about the rest of our days and lead us and guide us in all that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Councilman. This time I'd ask that everybody rise as the Pearland Fire Department presents the colors, and please remain standing as they lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Honor guard, attend, up. All uniformed personnel, attend, up. Honor guard, prepare to carry. Forward, up. Ready, post. All uniformed personnel, present arms. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms.
I would now like to invite Mayor Kevin Cole to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. As we sit here this morning, it's a little chilly outside, but it is nice and toasty warm in here. And it's warm in here because Jay and Stacy came our way. Sorry, I'm about to knock this radio off. Don't want to do that. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Because the Taylors came our way some 4 years ago. We often talk about how really good and great our departments are. And I challenge people, I say this often, probably get tired of hearing me say it, but we've got the best fire department anywhere in the state of Texas. I challenge people, sorry, Chief, I'm going to be a homer. You know that. You would expect anything different. But I challenge mayors across the area, challenge me. And I've yet to have anybody take me up on that. We're the best because of leadership. We're the best because of heart. We're the best because it's a people-to-people situation. And Chief Taylor lives that day in and day out. I think anybody that's in uniform today can tell you you're loved and you know it. You're appreciated and you know it. You're cared for and you know it. You also know he will stand up and be the shield between you and anyone else, because that is who he is. He brought that to our fire department. He brought that to our city, and our city is better for it. Our department is certainly better for it. And the days and years to come will only be brighter because of the foundation of what Chief Taylor has brought. He's not just retiring, from the fire services, this week. He gets to move on to a new chapter. And anybody that knows Jay knows after surgery, after sitting briefly and recovering, that won't be long. He'll be active. He'll be all over the place, because if you've seen and felt the energy that came into our city when they moved here, that's what's going to happen in the next chapter of their lives. You'll feel the energy. It's going to be great. Jay and Stacy live right around the corner from Lisa and I. In fact, across the lake, we can see our houses. We're just right across, and when I see the TV on over there, it's like, can I come watch the ball game? And over and those kind of things. And so it's not just we have a friendship that transcends beyond the role as fire chief and mayor. And that friendship will remain. That friendship will only blossom. That friendship will be there for as long as we live. That's where we're headed. But with that, I do want to read this proclamation. Hopefully I can get through it. If you know, Jay and I both were very emotional people. I don't apologize for that at all. It's who I am. It's who God made me. And so I just want to read this. Whereas Chief Jack J. Taylor was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and answered the call to public service with the Addison Fire Department in 1993. Whereas Chief Taylor continued his career with the Irving Fire Department beginning in 1995, earning multiple commendations, including 3 life-saving awards and various other recognitions, and retiring from Irving in 2020. And whereas in 2022, Chief Taylor moved to Pearland and began serving our community, making an immediate impact on the Pearland Fire Department and earning the Rookie of the Year award in 2022. And whereas Chief Taylor has advanced the fire service across Texas as second vice president of the Texas Fire Chiefs Association and has been honored as outstanding fire service professional by Columbia Southern University in 2020 and as a distinguished alumni by the Tarrant County College Fire Service Training Center in 2021. And whereas throughout his career, Chief Taylor has been supported by his loving wife, Stacy, and their sons, Jack and Nick, whose encouragement and presence have been instrumental to his success in serving the community with dedication and integrity. And whereas upon retirement, Chief Taylor looks forward to traveling with Stacy, sharing his leadership expertise to municipal and corporate audiences on development and strategic planning, and returning to his passion for professional acting. That'll be fun. We'll get a chance to see that. And whereas as Chief Taylor embarks on his well-deserved retirement, he leaves a legacy of excellence, leadership, and dedication that will continue to inspire future generations of firefighters. And now, therefore, I, Kevin Cole, by the power vested in me as the mayor of the city of Pearland, Texas, do hereby proclaim January 30th, 2026 as Chief J. Taylor Day right here in Pearland. And I ask all of our citizens, both near and far, to join me as well as our city in recognizing Chief Taylor for his unwavering dedication and contributions to the safety and resilience of our community, and in expressing a heartfelt appreciation for his service. Thank you, Chief Taylor, given under my hand and seal today, this 30th day of January 2026. It is a privilege, it's an honor to be able to do this and sign this and give this to you guys. It's a formal piece of paper, but you know behind it, the heart.
Thank you, Mayor. You good? Well, we're early. All right. All right. This time I'd like to invite City Manager Trent Epperson.
So, good morning. I want to thank everyone for being here. Can't leave that on the floor. It's a big day. Chief Taylor, when he joined us in 2022, already had 30 years of experience and dedication in the fire service. And so he brought that to us. He brought those 30 years and really brought it to us at a time when we had needs. So when Chief Taylor joined us, our department had experienced very rapid growth along with the city. And we had only had an actual full-time paid fire department, or had gone through a 15-year transition to get from all volunteer to what we are today. And in that very fast transition, as Chief Taylor came in here, he identified some of those things we skipped over, and we went back and fixed those while Chief Taylor was here. The challenges at the time were to identify those things and prioritize those things. So I want to walk through some of those accomplishments we've seen in those in the last 4 years. Reinvestment in our fleet. We had a fleet that, as Chief Taylor came in here, we identified, or he identified with his team, we really need to start reinvesting in our fleet, and we've done that. We've had 2 new engines over the past couple of years. We've got 3 more showing up this year and more in the future. And that's going to set us up for the long term. Not only did we get those purchased and on the way to us, we've also set up for the long term so that those can be replaced when those are due. An annual capital replacement program. So all the equipment the fire department uses, the radios, the SCBAs, bunker gear, all those things, we were budgeting and doing those kind of on an ad hoc basis every year. And Chief Taylor and his team put together a program to where we can put an amount into that every year, put those all on a schedule, and make sure they get replaced when they should. The freeway blocker. I remember when we interviewed Chief Taylor, he talked about a freeway blocker program to keep our personnel safe when they're in that precarious situation with an accident out on a freeway. Not only keep our personnel safe, but also not to put our $1.5 million pieces of equipment in harm's way. People are more important, but that equipment's very expensive. And so we just recently now have in place Blocker 88. So when we have incidents out on 288 or other incidents in town, we can put that piece of equipment out there to keep our people safe and block the incident and keep those accidents where they should be. And then launching the whole blood program. That's something that is already saving lives. These are major accomplishments in a very short period of time, and we thank you for that, Chief. Chief also led us to our 2024 designation as a Texas Fire Chiefs Association Recognized Best Practices Department. Thank you for getting us through that, Chief. So in summary, Chief Taylor has brought us through some of those tough teenage years for this department. And he has set us up for a future that is bright and a future where we're going to succeed. So thank you, Chief Taylor. I want to present you what we've just started presenting some of our retirees. Just our little bit of gratitude for Pearland retirees. So thank you, Chief Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Epperson. This time I'd like to introduce Police Chief Johnny Spires. I'm sure this will be good.
Well, not all that mushy stuff's over with. No, thank you for asking me to speak today. I appreciate that. I don't know how many police chiefs get invited to speak at a fire chief's retire. Yeah, I think I'm the only one. But that speaks to our relationship, police and fire in this community. And I don't think very many communities have the relationship we have. Our people work together so well day in and day out. Now, we talk a lot about each other, but it's all in fun and joking, and when it's time to get the job done, like the other night, we get the job done. So I appreciate you asking me to speak here today. Another thing you did that Trent didn't mention was the Honor Guard. Y'all brought them uniforms in, and y'all look very sharp. Round of applause for y'all, the Honor Guard. They look great. You heard I was going to retire, and as competitive as you are, you had to beat me to the punch. So one of the first times we talked, right after you were appointed, I was giving you a hard time about being an actor and playing a police officer on a certain TV show. And I said, how do you pull that off? He said, well, it's easy. I just had to dumb it down a little bit. So right after that, I knew we were going to get along just fine. We're a good team because I'm a well-known introvert and you're not. So we had to sit through all those CMO meetings together, and they were about an hour long, and you would go on for 45 minutes. And I could only, at the end, they'd be tired. They just asked me if I had anything. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So you warm down for me. I'd sit there and actually, I was looking at my retirement account the whole time you were talking. So you make council meetings go by really, really well. I don't know if y'all know, we used to watch TV back there. Yeah. Any significant game and some insignificant games were on, we'd be watching. A couple of times I got caught watching. I'd get a question from council and I wasn't paying attention, and you'd have to tell me what they just asked me. So that's your fault. Maybe I'll behave better now for a few more months anyway. You kept things lighthearted, even when they didn't have to be. When things are too serious, you could make things more lighthearted, and we could get through things together. One of the things we have in common is you often describe your leadership as like parenting. And that's accurate, because as old as you are, you're probably old enough to be the parent of everybody in your. But it's a very accurate statement, and I appreciate the breakfast meetings we had, otherwise known as Chiefs Therapy. We need that on occasion. But I saw the stress you went through when your firefighter went down, and that's something that no chief ever wants to go through. But we have to be prepared for that. You know, the weight of your department is on you 24/7. It never goes away. It's not an 8 to 5 job. It's a lifestyle that you have, and it's wears on you day in and day out. And you've been doing it a long time. So I hope you release some of that. And I know you still care about everybody in your department. That's not going to stop. But I hope a little bit of that stress goes down for you, because I know it's tough. Go on more cruises. That's one thing I noticed. You're off a lot. You take off a lot. You go on these cruises. It is. But you also go to a lot of conferences that I noticed. Another lesson I should have learned from you. But you've had an outstanding career, Jay. You're well known and respected throughout the state, throughout the industry. And the fact that you came here to Pearland and passed some of that on us, we're grateful for that. Pearland was lucky to pick you up. I congratulate you. It's well deserved, but something tells me you're not done. And that's be good for Stacy because she probably doesn't want you around the house that much. So congratulations. I'm proud of you. Thank you. And I'm right behind you.
I know, man. It was rough. All right. I'd like to invite Chief Taylor's Executive Assistant, Sydney Hargerter.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chief Taylor, for inviting me to speak. I greatly appreciate it. Friends, family, and colleagues of Chief Taylor know he has worn many hats. Husband, father, actor, referee, and of course, chief. But today, I want to highlight two particular hats that he wears. One, many of you may not know. All of you know that he is a leader, of course, and I definitely want to highlight that today, but also he's working on becoming an author. During my time with Chief, he has quietly been working on writing a book, which I've had the pleasure of reading. Yes, Chief, my gift to you today is that I finally finished the book. And to prove it, I would like to share some quotes with you. Culture is what happens in the spaces between policy. Culture doesn't demand perfection, but it craves authenticity. This quote resonates with me deeply. I will never forget day 2 for me at the Pearland Fire Department. It was a day no chief wants to face, the loss of a young firefighter. I learned more that day and in the days that followed than I could ever have imagined. While there were policies in place for handling such a tragic event, informing the right people, command staff making sure the family had everything they needed, but there was also culture there. There was a chief at the firehouse table in the administration building, leading as he always had, authentically. The firehouse table is a long-held tradition across firehouses around the country. Here at Pearland Fire Department and our fire admin building, it is known as No Rank Hour, a concept that took our administration headquarters back to the roots of this firehouse tradition. Almost every morning at 0700, you can find the chiefs gathered around the kitchen table with coffee. Chief Taylor with his tried and true Astros mug. Chief Burt always and ready to share his stories about his son's latest football game. The day after our department's loss, No Rank Hour was a little quieter than usual. But it was still where I learned things like how much sugar that young firefighter loved in his coffee. So much, in fact, that his coffee stirrer would stand straight up, apparently. It was also where I saw just how many people felt comfortable talking to their chiefs, regardless of their rank. This No Rank Hour, which Chief Taylor apparently started, is the perfect example of culture building. No matter your rank, title, or the color of your helmet, you were always welcome at that table. Some mornings, it's standing room only in that kitchen. On my 3rd day with the department, it absolutely was standing room only. No Rank Hour is often filled with laughter, jokes, ideas, and sometimes sad or hard moments like that one. But everyone who walks in knows they're welcome. And in that moment, we truly are all family. To quote Chief Taylor again, little actions don't make headlines, but over time, they become the foundation your people stand on. No Rank Hour was a small leadership decision. There was no news story about it, no mention of it in citywide newsletters. But in my time here, I witnessed good and bad days discussed at that table by people from every rank. I've seen chiefs from other states join in asking for advice for their own departments even. And if I'm being honest, one of my favorite things to do is outright bully firefighters into taking a seat at that table when they're at the admin building that morning. And I promise, Chief, I'll keep doing that. This is just one of countless shining examples of the outstanding foundation that you have built for this department. And it is an honor and a privilege to have even been able to be a small part of it. Thank you for allowing me to join your team. Thank you, Chief.
I do believe the police chiefs often come over there and hang out too, so truly is open. All right, at this time, I'd like to introduce State Representative Jeff Berry. It's your time to shine.
You know, for those of you guys that know me, I'm a man of few words and don't like to spend a whole lot of time wasting time in hot air and, bloviating about simplistic things. And if you've ever watched a city council meeting when I was a participant there, and the only person that said less words than I did was Tony Carbone. So, but anyway, I want to thank you. And if you look at you're able to look at the agenda, I'm the first one on the family and friends list because Chief Taylor and I were friends before we were peers and partners. Chief Taylor is that guy I could go to and talk about SEC football, still the best. All his days of referees and head coaches and all across the SEC and all across the United States, really, all the football conferences, tell stories. He had good, interesting stories. But he always had that smile on his face. And a smile on his face because he enjoyed what he did. Whether he was talking about the firehouse, talking about football, talking about family and friends, Stacy, he always has that smile on his face. And you can look at him right now, he has that smirk on his face, and you never really know what he's thinking, but whatever it is, he's enjoying what he's doing. And the reason he enjoys what he's doing is because he's good at it. I told you earlier, Chief, that public service is not for sissies. And Stacy, you understand that as well. It's not easy. Over 30 years of public service is not for the weak, not for the faint of heart. And all your firemen out there, all your police officers out there, I want to thank you guys for your service as well. Look to Chief Taylor's leadership that's going to endure in the life of this fire department. I'm wishing you all the best, Chief. I prepared this resolution for you. To be quite frank, I didn't do it. The state of Texas did it. And I actually have to put my glasses on to read this. But it's something from the heart. We appreciate the public service. We appreciate the leadership. And quite frankly, our department couldn't be where it is today without the leadership of you and your dedication to Pearland Fire Department. So we have this resolution. I'm going to start it off with, whereas Jack Taylor III is retiring as chief of the Pearland Fire Department in February 2026, drawing to a close more than 3 decades of exemplary service in firefighting. And whereas Jay Taylor began his career with the Irving Fire Department, and over the course of his 25-year tenure there, he rose to the ranks to assistant chief. Along the way, he served as public information officer, operations chief, and administrative chief, and oversaw fire prevention and all emergency medical services. He went on to serve as the town of Trophy Club fire chief, and he joined the Pearland Fire Department as fire chief in 2022. Remember that day well. Chief Taylor holds an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree from Southwestern Oklahoma State University, and a master's degree from Columbia Southern University. He has completed the Executive Fire Officer Program at National Fire Academy, the Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service Fire Service Chief Executive Officer Program, and the Certified CEO Program through the Texas Fire Chiefs Association. Moreover, he has earned the designation as a Chief Fire Officer through the Center for Public Safety Excellence and several Texas Commission on Fire Protection certifications, the runner-up for the National Outstanding Fire Service Professional from Columbia Southern University. He received the 2021 Tarrant County College Regional Fire Academy Outstanding Alumni Award And whereas, in addition to his career in fire service, Chief Taylor is a professional actor, published author, and accomplished speaker. He has appeared in Breaking Bad and Friday Night Lights. Did not know that. Friday Night Lights. And for 2 decades, he served as National Collegiate Athletic Association Division I football referee. Retirement will afford him more time to spend with his family, which includes his wife Stacy and their 2 sons, Jack and Nick. And whereas through his hard work, professionalism, and commitment to public safety, Jay Taylor has earned the admiration and appreciation of his fellow Texans, and he may indeed reflect with pride on a job well done. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Chief Jack J. Taylor III be congratulated on his retirement from the Pearland Fire Department, and that he be extended sincere appreciation for his many years of service. Jeff Berry, State Representative, District 29. So, Chief, I commend you on a career well done and a retirement well deserved. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Glad your glasses are working because I apparently glossed over Jacob's speech and I got glared at. So this time I'd like to invite Assistant Chief Jacob Johnson.
That guy's such a jerk. Yeah, we should have never promoted him. You thought you were going to get rid of me, but you're not. And I had to write it down because if not, I'm going to end up like you, and I'm going to go way over my time limit, and we're not going to get out of here in time. Bullet points, that doesn't stop you. So take a minute, I would please, you and your family, and look around this room. Almost every chair is full. And that's not because a fire chief is retiring, it's because of the impact that you had. The impact on this community and the impact in this department. Today is one of those days that carries a lot of weight, not because the fire chief is retiring, but because Jay Taylor is retiring. We're here to celebrate a career, but more importantly, we're here to honor a leader who helped this department through one of the most demanding chapters in its history. First, though, as I always say, today is not about Chief Taylor. Today is about his family and their sacrifices over the last 33 years. And not just the last 3 years in Pearland. Stacy, Jack, and Nick, thank you for giving your husband and father to us in the American Fire Service. Thank you for enduring all the hard times alone when Jay was on shift. Thank you for your understanding of what kind of support we need to be successful on this job. We are not here today if it wasn't for all of you, and I hope that you hold that dear to your heart. Today is your day just as much as it is Chief's. Chief, you didn't just serve as a fire chief. You served as a steady hand, a calm voice, and our anchor when stability mattered most. Do you remember our first conversation when you started? I was a battalion chief. And you asked me what a good chief in Pearland looked like. I told you that it took a person who loved Pearland, the city, the community, the citizens, and most importantly, the heartbeat of our department, the men and women that we work for. I told you that this place was my home and that I will protect it with everything. I told you that you have to fall in love with all of it, and you have to understand that we are elite. We are the best, and that's our mentality. You have to accept all of it with open arms to truly understand what it takes to be successful here. And without hesitation, you looked me dead in the eyes and you promised me that you would love us and you would lead us. And on that day, it brought a sense of calm that personally I had not experienced in years. When this department needed direction, you provided it. When it needed reassurance, you stood firm. When it needed to move forward, sometimes through uncertainty, change, and pressure, you made sure that we did so with purpose, professionalism, and pride. Chief, our accomplishments are many, so many that they are seen from coast to coast and border to border, and they were only possible because of all of us. Every member, and not just one individual. It took our family. What defines your tenure is not what was just built here, improved or implemented, but it's how we all did it together as a family. You understood that progress doesn't come from reaction. It comes from preparation. You actually told me that reactions show immaturity and not passion, but preparation will control your reaction and make an impact worth talking about. You told me that trust isn't demanded, it's earned, and that culture isn't created by policies, it's shaped by consistent leadership and built by our members. During a time when this department needed stability, you brought exactly that. You provided a sense of calm when emotions were high, clarity when paths were not clear, and confidence when the pressures of leadership could have caused hesitation or doubt. You reminded us that moving forward doesn't mean abandoning who we are, it just means we have to strengthen it. Being the fire chief in Pearland is not an easy job. It requires a healthy respect and balance between tradition and progress. It requires courage to make hard decisions while standing by your people. It requires humility to listen as much as you lead. And above all, it requires trust. Trust in the organization, trust in the officers, trust in our members, and trust in the next generation of leadership. Because we all know that once you lose trust, you lose the department. Chief, you demonstrated that trust in a very personal way to me when you appointed me to the position of assistant chief. It wasn't just a promotion. It was a statement of confidence in me. Confidence that I had, but was afraid to show. It was a moment that told me, I believe in you, and I believe in what we're going to build here in Pearland. That trust shaped me as a leader, challenged me to be better, and proved to me that my internal mindset of real leadership is about developing others and not protecting titles. It is real, and it is and will always be about our people. As we look to the future, it's important to understand what you leave behind. You leave behind a department that is stronger, more prepared, and more confident than when you found it. You leave behind a standard for what it means to lead Pearland Fire with integrity, consistency, and heart. And for the next chief, whoever that may be, the path forward is clear. Protect the culture, earn the trust of the people, lead with humility, and stand firm when it's hard. And never forget that this department succeeds because of the men and women who show up every day to serve this community and these citizens, not just because you're the fire chief. Chief, I hope that if I've done anything for you, I hope that I showed you how to love Pearland, how to love and support our people, and how much passion it takes to lead this special fire department with a sense of pride that will make you smile in all your days to come. And on behalf of the Pearland Fire Department, thank you for your leadership, your steadiness, and your belief in us. Thank you for helping us move forward when it mattered most. You didn't just lead this fire department, you left it better than you found it. And for one final time, #pardon our dust. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. Your memory is second to none. This time, I'd like to invite the Pearland Professional Firefighters Association President, David Tilbury.
Well, Chief Johnson stole my line, but what a tribute to a fire service career. Looking around the room, the representatives from all over the state of Texas, former coworkers, current coworkers, Chief, even in retirement, you're inspiring us to do great things. Well, good morning, everyone. Chief, on behalf of the Pearland Professional Firefighters Association, I want to say congratulations and thank you. Today is about recognizing Fire Chief Jay Taylor and the impact he has had on this department. In just under 4 years as Fire Chief, the Pearland Fire Department has made tremendous progress. In the interest of time, I don't think I'm going to stand up here and list every single thing that we've done. But what matters most is not what the accomplishments that we've done on paper. What matters is the change in the culture, the trust, and the direction of this organization. For PPFA, this is a unique moment. This is Chief Taylor's the first fire chief retirement we've had where he's not just someone that has worked with us. He's a member of our association, and he's one of our strongest supporters. From day one, Chief Taylor brought the association in, not because he understood who we represented, but because he respected the role we play in the success of this department. He didn't keep us at arm's length. He didn't treat our input as an obstacle. He treated us as an asset. Chief Taylor valued the perspective from the field because he knows it makes this department better. He made it clear that when we move forward as a department, we do it together. That's the kind of leader that he is. He earned the trust and respect of the rank and file because he always put his people first. In his own words, insincere leaders rarely recognize their shortcomings, yet they are quickly identified by their teams. Chief Taylor led this department genuinely with his heart every day. He cares about standards. He cares about professionalism. He cares about doing things the right way, even when they aren't the easy way. For me personally, working with Chief Taylor as the president of the association, he's been more than just the fire chief. He's been a mentor and a friend. He offered genuine guidance on process and policy. His door was always open to me. He helped me see the bigger picture sometimes when I needed it. And when he needed to, he was always willing to pull me back from my impatient nature. Chief, I really appreciate that. So today we recognize your service, we recognize your accomplishments, but most importantly, we recognize how you did it, with integrity, with humility, with courage, and with heart. Chief, you didn't just lead this department, you invested in it. You believed in us, and you led from the front every single day. Now, Chief, I'm going to take advantage of getting to speak before you because I think I know what you're going to say. Firefighters tend to be really humble and shy away from praise. But let me say this. You were the right man for the job, and you came to Pearland when we needed you the most. This fire department today, the structure, our programs, our accreditations, they stand as a legacy of your hard work as much as it does ours. So, Chief, congratulations in your retirement. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, President Tilbury. I got your mess. I'll clean it up. All right, moving right along, I'd like to introduce representing the Texas Fire Chiefs Association, Chief Mark Campese.
You got my notes? No, I got it, man. Don't worry about it. No help. No, I got this. This is interesting. Good morning. Chief Taylor, members of the Pearland Fire Department, city leadership, colleagues, family, and friends. I'm Mark Campese. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm proud to serve the men and women of Sugar Land as their fire chief, and I'm also the Southeast Regional Director for the Texas Fire Chiefs Association. I made some notes, man. Usually I just shoot from the hip, but I did not want to get any of this wrong or miss anything. So I've had the privilege of knowing Chief Taylor since 2015 when we met in Fire Service Chief Executive Officer program at Texas A&M. And I'm proud to remember the lengthy conversations that we had when you were considering Pearland as your next journey for you and Stacy. I'm proud to stand before you today on behalf of the Texas Fire Chiefs Association to recognize and celebrate a career of leadership and service from Chief Taylor as you conclude this chapter of your journey. Retirements like this are moments of reflection, not just on years served, but on an impact that's been made. Chief Taylor's impact is not only evident in the accomplishments of the Pearland Fire Department, but in the confidence, direction, and the momentum that you guys have in this organization. A little over 4 years ago, as we've heard, Pearland found itself at a pivotal moment. The department had grown, the community had grown, and the expectations had grown. What was needed was not simply a fire chief to maintain the status quo, but rather a leader with confidence, experience, and perspective to take Pearland to the next level. I remember clearly the conversations surrounding that moment. The need was for a chief who could assess the organization honestly, make tough decisions thoughtfully, and lead with both credibility and calm. A chief who understood that progress in the fire service requires more than operational expertise. It requires trust, clarity of vision, and the ability to bring people along. Chief Taylor was that leader. His arrival came at a critical time for the department, and from the very beginning, his leadership reflected purpose. Over the last 4 years, his dedication has set the Pearland Fire Department on a trajectory that both the staff of the department and the city should be proud of. As fire chiefs, we all share a common goal. We want to take our organizations to the highest level of performance. We want to deliver the best possible service to our communities, and we want to create an environment where our people can grow, succeed, and excel. Your work has consistently exemplified those goals. In Pearland, you've demonstrated that leadership is not about command presence alone. It's about consistency, intentionality, and integrity. It's about aligning people, policy, and purpose. It's about preparing an organization not just for today's emergencies, but for tomorrow's challenges. Equally important, your influence is extended well beyond this department. Through his involvement with the Texas Fire Chiefs Association, as a vice president on the board, Chief Taylor contributed to the advancement of the fire service across the entire state. He has represented Pearland with professionalism, shared insight with fellow fire chiefs, and helped strengthen the collective leadership of all Texas fire departments. Chief Taylor understands that when one department improves, the entire fire service benefits. And while achievements and milestones matter, what will endure most is the foundation that you leave behind. A department that's positioned for continued success, a leadership team who is empowered to lead, and a culture that values professionalism, accountability, and love and pride for the fire service. Your work mattered. It mattered to the firefighters, and it mattered to the officers that you led. It's mattered to the community that you serve, and it's mattered to your colleagues across the state of Texas who respect your leadership and the example you set. On behalf of the Texas Fire Chiefs Association, thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment and your contributions. Thank you for leading when it mattered the most, and thank you personally for leaving Pearland better for the future. We wish you continued success, fulfillment, happiness, and retirement, and we look forward to watching your legacy continue to grow here in Pearland.
Sit down. I'm very excited because somebody else that doesn't normally speak gets to speak, and man of very many words. I'd now like to introduce Assistant Chief Burt to come up and say a few words.
You be Vanna White. Yep. Present this to you too. On behalf of the department, in recognition of his exemplary service, dedication, and years of service to the Pearland Fire Department, this bell symbolizes the impact you've had on the countless lives and the legacy you leave behind. As you enter this well-deserved retirement, may it remind you and your tireless commitment to the public safety and the people who have inspired with great gratitude and appreciation the Pearland Fire Department. That is for you. It should be.
Believe it or not, he wasn't reading from nothing. That was all improv. All right, now's either roasting time or emotional time. What I would like to do is open up the floor for a speech from family and/or friends. What I would ask is that you keep your speeches brief and maybe 2 minutes, unless the story is really good. So the floor is open. Anybody like to speak? $20, you get first dibs.
Come on up. I'll get started. How y'all doing? My name's Chuck Spivey. I'm a firefighter, or a captain for Irving Fire Department, about to embark on my 35th and final year there. And super excited to be joining Jay and the rest of these guys pretty quick in that. I don't really have notes. I might have a few here as we were setting, but I guess the first thing I want to do is when Jay left us, it was in the middle of COVID, and we didn't get to do all this stuff, and we really wanted to. We did a little ceremony, but it wasn't much. So I want to thank you guys at Pearland for doing this. He deserves this. I mean, he's deserved this for way back. We didn't get to do it, and thank goodness y'all did, and thank you for that. It makes me proud to be up here and be able to speak on behalf of the fire department, the Irving Fire Department. And I'm going to start with the professional side of this. I'll try to go quick. It's hard, but he came to us from Addison in January 25, and pretty much right away we knew this guy was different. He came on to C shift. I was a tailboard at Station 2 on B shift, and he was different. We knew he just fit right in. You know, he'd done the Addison thing, but he didn't bring it with him. You know, a lot of times these guys come from other stations and they bring experience, and that's great, but leave that stuff behind you. We're going to teach you the way we want you to know. And he fit right into what we did. And we learned pretty quick that this cat was something. He could speak. He had the look. He's a good looking dude. He had a great wife, and she was hot. And we're like, man, what does this guy not have? And then all of a sudden we realized in every conversation, most of us were stupid. He was always the smartest guy in the room, but he never let you know. He allowed you to excel in your own way, and he knew that he's about twice as smart as any of us. I mean, the fun fact we found out later is he's actually Mensa certified. This cat is super smart. He just would never let you know, and there's very few people in the world that even know that. But we figured out that this dude had it, and I think the time when we found out, when he told us, I think we were on a trip. It might have been one of those birthday trips. And we definitely did that. But he said, you know, I got asked to be the assistant chief. I'm like, what? And we weren't shocked. We were proud. Nor were we proud one of us, one of our group. We have a group all about the same age that hung out and vacation together, pretty much a family. Yeah, every 10th year, every 20, 30, 40, 50, we had birthday parties together. But we were proud that one of ours was getting to do that. And so, man, that was great. And there's some great guys in our group that actually have been good assistant chiefs as well. But with Jay, he got to do it, and he was right for the time that our department was changing. We'd kind of been a chief's rule department before that, and when he came around, it was like, no, I'm gonna be a fireman's assistant chief, and that's exactly what he was. And the chief we had at the time really intended to do that too. And we're going that way, and Chief Wilson's here. He was there at the time, and he was looking for that same kind of thing. That's the culture we were building. This is about the firefighters, it's the citizens and firefighters at one part. Council and all those other silly people. That's not what it's about. That's about, you know. And he grew with the department. Great ideas came from Chief Taylor. This blocker program was invented in Irving. This nationally recognized program is an Irving, Texas thing. So we're pretty proud of ourselves. However, the other little known fact is the idea of using fire equipment actually came from this cat right here. It wasn't something that our big boss came up with on his own. Now, again, he's the guy that's not going to take credit for it. He's going to let the big chief have credit, and he's done that pretty well, I'll say. Anyway, when Jay left us, it was time. He had achieved everything he needed to achieve in our department, and he needed to take that somewhere else. And I'm so proud that he came here to this great department. I see a lot of our department in you guys and gals that we have back home. It's a lot of the same, and it makes sense. And so he brought that here at the right time. So thank you, and man, that's just incredible. On a personal note, like I said, there's a group of us all about the same age that run around together, vacation together, family basically, and we did all kinds of stuff together. I won't even go through that stuff. That's for sitting around with a cold one and a lot of time. But What I will say is Jay had an incredible family, but was an incredible guy. I mean, we got to do fire station stuff together. We got to do vacation stuff together. We got to compete on the football field together. Believe it or not, I played football, full contact football with this cat, 3 years straight playing the cops. And by the way, we'd have demolished him all 3 years. Matter of fact, Jay, this poor receiver came across the middle, and Jay was going for the pick, and he went up like this, and Jay just, and the poor cat, 3 ribs fractured, punctured lung, chest tube. We probably shouldn't have had him playing against us. Anyway, I got to compete with him in there, and so he's been a great friend. He's been a confidant, a mentor. I've cried on his shoulder. I've laughed with him, and Stacy as well. We didn't get to say this back in Irving when you left, but Jack, Nick, Stacy, thank you for sharing your father with us, your husband with us. He's an incredible human being, and I'm so excited to see where you go from here, and I'm going to go with you. Anyway, congratulations, good luck, and I love you, brother.
Morning, everybody, and thanks for allowing me to participate in the roast of Chief Taylor. And I originally thought it was a roast. That's why I don't have notes now. I had to throw all that stuff away when I realized it was a retirement ceremony. But I was fortunate enough to meet Chief Taylor March of 2020. And it seems like there was something really big going on around that time. And, I was losing some of my hair and he lost all of his, dealing with COVID. We've heard a lot of interesting stories and descriptors of Chief Taylor's career. But I'm going to give you a quick story that shows how he could put it to action. February 14th, Valentine's Day of 21, we had a massive snow and ice storm hit the Metroplex. And it was massive because in my 48-hour shift, I ran like 35 calls. But in the middle of the day, we ran back to back, full arrests. And one of those cardiac arrests was on a retired New York firefighter who had retired during COVID, minus the ceremony, and moved to Trophy Club, Texas. While we were on scene, of course, snow and ice and everything, it was a termination of effort, and the wife was there and had basically nobody. So I made a quick phone call to Chief Taylor and told her, this is a retired firefighter, this is what we need to do, and he jumped on it. And to watch this man work over 10 days coordinating a funeral service for a member of a department that was retired was so impressive. We gave that man full firefighter honor at his funeral by coordinating through Chief Taylor probably 10 different North Texas fire departments. And that speaks of brotherhood and the commitment and what it means to be family. So, bless you, man. I missed you every day since you left Trophy Club. I came down and saw you right after you started here, and I felt better because I was walled up thinking I missed my chance to work with you for a long time. But after visiting you here, I knew you were in the right spot, and this is where you belong to be, and I'm real happy. Thanks for being a coach, a mentor, a friend, and just an outstanding leader.
Emilio Reyes, Division Chief in Missouri City. I'm going to get my mayor to challenge you on that one. So he needs a little talking to. Mistake is me coming up here because I love to talk. But Jay, 2015 FSCEO, I was 26 years old. I was a lieutenant, president of association. My fire chief said, hey, enough with you and your talking and everything you want to do. I need you to learn the other side. And so that's where my journey started. And luckily enough, I have two of the best friends and the people I look up to the most in the fire service, which is you and Chief Campese. And anytime I've ever needed anything, anytime text, phone call, opportunities, you've always been there. You've always guided me. You've always been a great mentor. And I can't say thank you enough. There's not many people that do that. And anybody who's spent any time with him knows the minute he sees something in you, he pushes you to go even further. So thank you for the opportunities you've given me. Thank you for always being there, and thank you for being you. You know, I thought it was the coolest thing when he was on Breaking Bad. I was watching it at the time, so I was kind of starstruck. But I appreciate everything. I love you, and come have some coffee with me.
Good morning. Many of you don't know me. My name is Buck Stevens. I'm actually a retired assistant chief from the volunteer fire department of Pearland. I joined in 1980, and I learned early on that one of the things in order to be successful in the fire department, whether it be career or volunteer, is that you have to have community support. And one of the ways you do that is educating the community and councils and commissioners and people of that nature that what you do and how you do it and what you need to get the job done. We can't expect our elected officials to understand if they haven't been a firefighter or a police officer and what we all do and how we need the tools to do our job. So one of those things that we did early on in the volunteer service is trying to get things, get educated and bring citizens into the community, into our department, and try to educate them and let them understand, have a better understanding of what we do on a day-to-day basis. One of the things, I don't know if it got mentioned or not, I was trying to listen as best I could, but one of the other attributes that Chief Taylor has is that he brought to this city the first Citizens Fire Academy. And that means a lot because those citizens will now leave with a better understanding and a better support and better hopeful of the department that they have been blessed with here in Pearland. And so through that initiation also became the Citizens Fire Association, of which we are here today, and we are pleased to support the fire service as best we can and the augmentation that we can. So Chief, thanks for giving us the opportunity to give back and be part of the community and still remain part of the fire service. Thank you very much.
Well, for those who don't know me, my name is David Osteen, no relation. And I'm not going to talk about fire service. I just want to come up and relay one story. Some of y'all know I retired 2 years ago, and I was told to say I am not Santa Claus, but I do kind of like trying this beard out and see what it looks like. But the story I want to tell has to do with family. I've retired 2 years ago, and what I miss is family. I want to tell one story. While I was here at work, one morning I had a bad morning, and they dragged me to the hospital in an ambulance and thought I had a stroke, and things were going weird, and found out I was very fortunate, very blessed. It wasn't that. And I came back to work, happy to be back at work, and I came to an event for the fire department, and Miss Taylor came up to me and gave me a hug and said, "I am so glad you're doing well." And I looked in her eyes and she meant it. And she didn't know me. She just knew me as a firefighter. That's the family I miss. That's the family they are. And that's what drove me back down here from the lake. It's kind of nice up there. The ice is gone, the water's blue, campfire's warm, and I wouldn't miss this for the world because they're family, and I appreciate that. And that's not something all services have. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. Did not know I was coming, did you? So my name's Alan Goodgame, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Irving Citizens Fire Academy Alumni Association president. And as Captain Spivey said, we did not get the opportunity to wish you a happy retirement from the fire department because of COVID. But I can remember sitting at home with the scanner sitting by me and actually recorded your final dispatch from Irving. And the only thought was, we've lost a good assistant chief, one that was always supportive of the citizens, but also the Citizens Fire Academy Alumni Association. And I remember a couple years later being down this direction and sent you a message on Facebook and said, hey, I'm in the area. And he said, give me 30 minutes and meet me at the station. So came by and the gal at the front desk was like, I'm sorry, he's not here. I was like, well, he says he's on the way. She kept apologizing. And I was like, no, I know he likes to talk. So a few minutes later, he got there, and it was extremely special to be able to walk around and being introduced to everybody as, this is the president of my CFA Alumni Association. This is what we're going to have one day. So when I saw your post on Facebook, it's like, I'm going to find a way to get down there. I found out yesterday I had the vacation time because we've been iced in, and I haven't worked all week, but they still gave me the day off to come down here. And the first thing to walk in and see your CFA here along doing the exact same thing that we do. Seeing the department, seeing what you've done here, seeing that you've brought Irving to Pearland. Supposed to be here last weekend for a funeral, but wasn't able to get here because of the iced in. Was able to see the family last night. But just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done for the fire service, what you've done for those of us in Irving, and wish you a happy and successful retirement.
All right, Jay, you can't go yet. So I'm Gary Carker, and I was fortunate enough to be his deputy chief in Trophy Club. And I was interim chief when he came. And when I heard that he was appointed as fire chief, I didn't know anything about him. And I've been in the business a long time, and I knew a lot of people, but I didn't know Jay Taylor. So I started doing some research, and I finally got a hold of him. And I said, hey, can we do lunch? And he said, sure. He's just that kind of guy, right? Wants to eat, but he's a friendly guy. So we go meet, and I'm a high school official, and he was a college official. So I thought, well, we got something in common already. Maybe that'll work. So I met him for lunch, and the first thing I said to him was, Chief, we got to get one thing first. We got to talk about one thing first. He said, what's that? I said, we got to talk about football. So we talked about football for about 2 hours, and then we ate for about 3 hours. So we had a 5-hour lunch, which was a great break-in for me. Again, I didn't know him, but once I found out who he was and got to really understand him, it was the best 2 years of my career. And I've been in the fire service a long time. He was very inspirational to me. He drove me, not literally, but he just kept encouraging me to get better and get better. And I can always remember those 2 words he told me in our very first meeting. Just get better. Get better. So if you hear Chief Taylor say get better, that's what he means, just get better. And so I kept that the rest of my career. I became a fire chief. He left. I left right after him to become a fire chief. Not so sure that was a good move, but I did. It was a great learning experience. My wife, she will attest that probably not a good move. But it was a good learning experience, right? And so I just remember Chief Taylor just being the guy. What everybody said about him today is true. It is true. He's a great guy. He's a witty guy. But he means business when it's time to mean business. And so I think Pearland was very gracious to have him. The short time they had him, I know that you're going to miss him because I missed him. He has a great family that supports him through this whole thing. And Stacy's been awesome to be friends with. We missed both of y'all and the kids when y'all came down here. It's just a 5-hour drive, so I couldn't make a lot of trips down here to see you. But I appreciate everything you did for me, Chief, and Stacy. I wish you the best. I think there's only 2 things I ever beat you at. One was golf, and one was I got to retire before you did. So congratulations, whatever your next endeavors are in life. I wish you the best. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. You ready? All right. I'd like to introduce Fire Chief Taylor for his final message.
Those who know me will be proud that I actually made bullet points, because you know I shoot from the hip anytime I speak. I don't like to be hampered by the written word, but there's too many people to think, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So thank you for being here. This is wonderful, and as has been said today, didn't have this opportunity, back in 2020. We had a lot going on in the world, and we stood outside Firehouse 2, 30 feet apart, because we didn't even have those rules in place yet. It hadn't gotten to 6 feet, but we're out there with masks, and Alan heard, and I've got some brothers here from Irving, but Alan reminded me last night, he said, it's a first. He goes, this is the first time in my life I've played a retirement for the same person at 2 different departments. So there's a first there. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the outpouring. I appreciate everything that's been said. I don't know, I think a little bit of it's embellished, but nonetheless, I'm very, very proud to be here today. And I want to thank everybody that took the time to get here. And I also want to thank those that couldn't get here because of the weather. There's some family members couldn't make it. Fortunately, I want to thank Josh Lee and our city communications team for live streaming this so that we have family members and friends that couldn't make it here have the ability to see this. So I really do appreciate that, and that offering of assistance that we always have across our departments within this city. That's what's so special about it. Everybody works together, and over years, we're constantly breaking those silos down and building those partnerships, and that's what it's all about. So thank you for that. Leadership from the city perspective. Trent, I want to thank you. I walked in the door in 2022, and you were the deputy city manager at the time, and you've been here several years, and through that, we've built a great rapport, the support, the things you talked about earlier, that couldn't take place without the support of our city manager's office, our elected officials, Mayor Cole, all of those things in place. Our vision in selling that need, providing the data that backs up what we were asking for, the empirical data, and y'all having the trust in us to resonate with that and help us get those things accomplished. I really do appreciate it. It's where we've moved today, because all of our men and women in blue, it's a team approach, but it took not just the fire department to get that accomplished, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you. I'll get through the family part. Chuck, everybody hit it well. When you're married to your best friend, it makes life go a lot easier. And so last Friday, Stacy and I celebrated our 33rd anniversary. I still look around and I wonder, I don't know why she picked me, but she did, because I'm just another dumb guy, but she just made me better every day of my life, and I appreciate it. And she's also one that keeps me grounded and tells me when I might get one of these in a minute or this or that, but that's part of it, and I do appreciate that. My boys, Jack and Nick, couldn't be more proud of both of them. Their entire lives I've been a firefighter, so they know no different, but they also know that I'm a little bit like Walter Mitty, I'm in a little bit of everything. And so whether it was acting or officiating, or they know me, everything I do is full speed ahead. And it took time away from the family, but then there was also a lot of times for us to enjoy those experiences together. And through that, we've had a lot of great memories. But I think back, and it's been a great ride. But you two boys are amazing young men, and I'm so proud of you. Mayor Cole talked about our emotions on our sleeve. That's one thing we have in common. And I've always said, and I often say it, I do not apologize for that, and I never will, because the emotions are real and raw, and I'm just not a stoic person. I'm not that way. When the chips are down and it's tough decisions that need to be made, that's one thing. But when I'm talking about people and people I care about, it's emotional for me, and that won't ever change. But we have a new addition, Skylar. So Nick, my youngest, and Skylar got married November 15th. So have a new daughter. So very excited about that. Kelsey's been part of the family for about 4 years now. We don't know where that's going to lead, but who knows? But we love having her as part of the family. So glad to have her here. Stacy's parents, Jim and Diane, showed up unexpectedly. I had several people show up unexpectedly today. It's quite amazing and very much appreciated. But Jim and Diane, thank you for being here. Amber, thank you for being here as well. Niece, and I really do appreciate that. Had some of my brothers from Irving show up last night, and Chuck hit that pretty well. We've spent a lot of time. It's no different than firefighters that are here. That's one thing I love about our team here. We have that close-knit concept, and they go do things together. They grow up together. Their families come to the stations on the weekends and see them, and that's the life we led in Irving. We were very tight-knit, and it's special when you do that. Don't ever lose that. And so to have them here is extremely special to me because they mean a lot to me. And for Captain Wade Williams, who retired last year, Wade was supposed to be the one. I'm glad he's not because he would have roasted the heck out of me. But he had a lot to say, but he had an acute illness this week. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers, Captain Wade Williams. But he's apologized a bunch for not being here, and it infuriates me because I told him don't worry about it. It's okay. It's the thought that counts. So love him, and I wish he was here, but I appreciate everybody that took the time to show up. I want to thank the PPFA. You know, David Tilbury came up here and spoke earlier as the president representing that, and this is a young, in a way, we're still in our infancy. I talk about it as an organization and what we've transpired through and the way we've grown. But the association, they're going to be a big part of where we are now and where we're going into the future and doing it the right way. And they had the ability, and yes, I did bring them in and wanted to build that relationship, but they also listened to me and Chief Burt and Chief Johnson and share our experiences, you know, with civil service, with associations, with a big department, a metro department that's very involved with not only the political side of it, but also the personal side as well. And so they've listened, and they're growing, and they're going to do some exceptional things here and be a great asset to not only the organization but the community as a whole. So I'm always going to be here for you guys to reach out anytime, and I'm now going to be an alumni member of the IAFF, so I'm going to stay involved. I want to thank again Buck, the PCFA. Buck hit it. He took the words out of my mouth. They've done a great job. There you are back there hiding on the bumper. But we started the CFA here. It's been a great program for us. And of course, we've done that for over 25 years in Irving. It's been exceptional for us. Great model here also with the police department, what they've done with the CPA. And I went through that myself. And so I'm part of their alumni association. It's a great program, and I encourage folks to take part of both of those. And you'll find that it's a lot more fun on our side, but police, they do a great job. So my hat's off to them. I want to thank Chief Spires. Johnny, it's tough. I miss those breakfasts too. You're an exceptional person. You really are. And yes, I am more competitive than you. And I had to leave out first, but you started talking about it back in July, and it literally got us talking about it in a way. But the friendship that we've formed, the common interests that we have, the way we lead, because we do love our people and we put them first. They're not just numbers on a board, and we live that. And it's sincere, and that's what I love about you. And you and Yesenia are wonderful people, and I look forward to that friendship continuing to blossom and grow. But what you've done here with this organization is amazing as well. And the mayor, he hit it on the head. I would put us up against anybody, and I would put us up against Irving, and that's where I came from. And I love Irving, but PFD, it's there, and we're as good as it gets. And the relationship we have between our police department and our fire department is exceptional here. That's a bond that's very important. Tuesday night, we had a rescue on a fire scene. We had some police officers that actually dragged a handicapped patient out of a house as we were getting there on scene. And that teamwork, that togetherness, and the things that we do, and there'll be more coming down the pike because of that incident, because it deserves the recognition. But it just exudes the teamwork that we have. And your command staff, Chief Savage, Chief Dunham, you guys do an outstanding, exceptional job. Don't ever lose that connectivity with the fire department. I know you won't with our command staff, because we really value that. And it's very important to how we operate in this city and what we provide to the citizens in this community. So thank you for all that. I really do appreciate it. Mentorship. You know, we talked a lot about mentorship today, and I love mentorship, but I just wanted to thank Chief Mark Campese, and he touched on this a little bit earlier, and kind of took my thunder away. But I would venture to say you and I talked 12 to 14 hours before I applied for this job in Pearland. And other than meeting you, I didn't know where Pearland was and didn't know anything about it. The more I found out about it, the more I found it was very similar to what I knew and what I'd grown up in as a firefighter. But you shared with me some challenges that this organization had been through. And I always say, you know, David Filberry, they presented this earlier. If you don't know what this is a bottle full of BBs. And so I often say that when I got here, it was as if somebody opened a bottle full of BBs and spilled it out on the floor. My job was to pick those BBs back up and put them back in the jar. Some of them are easy to capture, some of them more difficult to capture, but it took time and patience and a lot of caring to be able to fill that jar back up. So that's what that symbolizes to me. But had a lot of hurting people and a lot of people that just needed some love and leadership. And that's really the words that Mark, you shared with me, is they need love and leadership. You're the one to do it. Yeah. I've loved every minute of it, but you're the reason I'm here, and I appreciate it because you told me you're what Pearland needs. And but what I found out is I needed Pearland more than I realized it. And so for Stacy and I, it's been a blessing. It really has. And thank you for that. See, I made bullet points. Thank you. I'm proud of what we've built here, but I'm more proud of the people that have built it. You know, when I first started in Pearland and started making firehouse visits and going around to the kitchen table, I would sit and tell our men and women, I said, I'm just another, pardon my French, I said, I'm just another dumbass chief in a white shirt doing this. You don't know me from Adam. You just know that I've stepped in the fold. Here I am. You don't know anything about me. But here's what's about to happen. And it's not going to be because of me. It's going to be because of all you. And people are going to know who Pearland is. People are going to appreciate what we do as an organization. And people are going to start recognizing the greatness that's already here. And for them to realize how talented they truly were. And I think in a lot of ways, they didn't realize how great they were. And you're exceptional. You're exceptional. Where are you going to go from here? I can't wait to watch it because I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines cheering you on. I'm your biggest fan. I'm emotional. We now mirror a Metro Fire Department. We're not a Metro Fire Department. We don't have 300 members in our organization, but having grown up in that and coming from over 400 firefighters down to 15 in Trophy Club and now to where we are, that's right in the middle of that in Pearland, and what we've accomplished over the last 4 years is pretty amazing. It was extremely fast and furious for the first couple of years because there were a lot of things that we needed to get in place, a lot of foundations that we needed to build to start going where we needed to go as an organization. And for y'all to allow me to bring that to you, but to give me the buy-in, to give me the grace, to give us a chance to go that direction, I really do appreciate that. And where we've transcended with that is a department that mirrors a Metro Fire Department. That's how we operate now. The demands on our organization by the city, the run volume, the high level of accountability and expectation of our city staff, and how we operate, just like we do with our police department. They're a Metro department. That's how we operate. And so for a city that's right here on the cusp, just the south side of Houston, it causes us to operate like a big city department. And so we're going to continue that. So I encourage whoever steps in my shoes, hopefully they blow my doors off. Hopefully it's somebody exceptional, and I'm sure, and I know that the city manager's office and everybody's committed to bringing in the right person to fill that need moving forward. And there's people in here that are going to have a big play in that decision-making opportunity, whether you're on interview panels or other things that help bring that chief in here. Be very focused in what you do and what you look at. And I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to say it. There's a lot of paper chiefs out there. All hat, no cattle, as we like to say. And just be really thorough, very diligent in how you go through those processes, because this is a meaningful juncture in our history for the fire department now as we move forward. We need somebody that has the experience of working at a department this size or larger, because of the speed that we move, the demands that are on this organization, the speed with which this city operates, and the amount of plates that we have to spin at one time. It's pretty amazing here. And you wouldn't think for a city of now 140,000, we respond to roughly 180 with our ESDs that we responded to, ETJ. It's growing quickly and it's fast paced. Can't afford to take a step backwards. So we need to have somebody that could come in here and just take it and build that momentum and go. We have one internally that if he chooses to put in, I think he's the right fit, but that's between him and his wife if he decides to do that. So that's my public safety message, and we'll move on to the regular scheduled programming. Taking care of our people. It's not just our organization, it's the city as a whole. And one thing I've seen here is being fire chief for this organization, as we talk about taking care of our own, taking care of our people, we had two situations since I've been here that really resonate where people put the practice into play, what they say. And the first one, and both of them have been mentioned a little bit today, but October 5th of 2023, we had a Mayday fire on Fraser Road. And it was a significant fire. And Eddie Lysiega, right over here in our honor guard, it was a Mayday fire, and he had substantial injuries. It was a harrowing experience, and as luck would have it, I was in San Marcos at a fire chief symposium that day, and even though it's a 3.5-hour drive, you can get to Houston, downtown Houston, in 1 hour and 45 minutes, so it can be done. That was the call that you never want to get as a fire chief. You know, and driving 136 miles an hour while you're talking on the phone to several different people and trying to help get things organized. I didn't have to organize anything. All I had to do was reach out to Chief Burt, who was on scene, and Chief Johnson. They said, we got it. And they already had the plan in place. What's amazing about that, and I've said it and you've heard me speak about it, but what our people did that day in 42 seconds when he was trapped under that debris to do what they did and get him out. And we talk about now that 42 seconds can change the world. That's our moniker. That's what we live by. And that's why we train. We train to live. We don't just check boxes when we train. Our training is dead serious when we train in the city of Pearland. And it's for a reason. It's for that reason. Because Eddie's standing here today, and he's a fire inspector for this fire department because our city believed in him and allowed him to stay on and heal and get to a point where he can still provide for his family and still be a brother and be a part of this organization. And it makes me very proud how this has worked out. And I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Trent. I want to thank everybody involved that said they were going to stand by us and by Eddie and his family and watch this through. And that's been done. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you very much. June 10th, 2025. It's another day that as a chief, you never want to have happen. And it was talked about earlier that Chief Spires mentioned that he and I talk, and I often talk to him, and I share that being a chief is not unlike being a parent, because as a parent, you want your children to be more successful and reach higher goals and be better than you were. And it's no different than being a fire chief with our folks. You want them to be better. You want them to have better tools, have better education, have a chance to do whatever it is they want to do and achieve. And you know, that's the mentality with that. But you also cry like a parent and you hurt like a parent. This one would be a bit tough. We lost a firefighter, took his own life in Galveston, off duty. I got the call early in the morning, about 5:30 a.m. I was down there very quickly at the hospital, go through the process. Our honor guard's there. Galveston Fire was amazing. Their honor guard was there with us. We're going through the process as firefighter Russell Wesley was battling for his life for a period of time. Ultimately, that came to an end, and it was a long day. It seemed like a week and one day, and I had an outpouring of support from Trent, city manager's office, everyone, but everybody was stepping from, as I was there in Galveston, the things that were happening here were just happening like clockwork, making sure everything was taken care of, everything was planned for, everything was moving forward, thoughts, thinking 3-4 steps ahead, which is what you have to have happen in those situations. And Chief Johnson and Chief Burt were exceptional in that. And I was in the room with Wesley after he had passed, and the staff had come in and cleaned him up, taking the tubes and the IVs and things out, and prepared him so that his mom could come in and see him for the last time. As a parent, that's tough, because you can see the difficulty in her knowing that when she walked out of that room, that was the last time she was going to walk out of the room with her son. And she would start to walk out, and she couldn't. She'd turn back around, go give him another kiss. And this went on for a while, and it was difficult to watch and want to help. It's one of those situations where you want to provide help and there's nothing you can do but be helpless. And I find myself standing there, and then she did leave, and everyone walked out, and I found myself in that room by myself with Wesley, and walked up to him and, just put my hand on his shoulder and gave him some taps, said a prayer, told him it was okay. Just gave him a tap on the shoulder and said, "It's all right, son, it's going to be okay. And rest easy." Walked over to the window, said a prayer, and just asked God to give me the strength, because as a chief, you have to show signs of strength. You have to be there for your people. And what it takes out of you from an emotional perspective, sometimes it can't be explained. And all you can do is ask for help to get you through those tough moments. I literally said a prayer and said, "God, give me the strength to walk out this door and be the chief I need to be." And my phone rang. It was the mayor. Right when I said amen, my phone rang. And I said, "Hello." And I'm looking out the window at over the bay in Galveston. And he said, "Chief," he said, "how are you doing?" And I said, "Well," and I told him what I had just done and where I was standing. And he said, "Well, if there's anything you need, let me know." He goes, "But I'm not calling to check on Chief Taylor. I'm calling to check on Jay." And when he said that, it hit me. And a lot of emotions at that point that hit me, but I needed that. And it was a sense where I said that prayer and that phone rang, and he was there for me and checking on me, not as a fire chief, but just as Jay. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated that, because that gave me the strength to move on through that day, to bring the honor guard in, to shroud him with the respect that he deserved in the American flag, and move him where he needed to be moved to. So through that process, I couldn't be more proud of our organization and how we handled that. It was tough days, but through tough days is when we get better. If you move from the comfortable to the uncomfortable, that's how you get stronger and you get better. And whatever, it might be something smaller, it might be something large, but in this situation, it was profound and needed, and that was timely, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I've already said to you all in blue, a lot of them are out there working today, and keep the standard high. We work for the brand. That PFD brand means something. I know it does to you. This patch means something, and it means something to me, and it always will. I'm very proud for this to be the last place I serve in the fire service, because it is. Now, what I do after this remains to be seen, but it won't be as a chief. I am stepping down from the fire service, but I couldn't be more proud of the fact that I ended that here with all of you. You gave me the grace, you gave me the belief, and most of you came on board immediately. And as any organization, big group came on board. A few more have to dip their toe in the water and see how it's going to be. And it just takes a little bit of time for everybody to come across. But you rely on each other. You hold each other accountable. There's a high level of expectation within our organization, and that's because of all of you. What I did here was just kind of keep everybody between the ditches. And like I said, you let the horses run. You slap them on the rear end and let them pin their ears back and go, because you let your talented people lead your organization. You find the people that are talented in certain areas, and you let them fly. Keep flying. Keep holding that standard high. You're going to do great things. Appreciate it. My administration staff, all my professional staff, Sydney spoke earlier, but all of our professional staff, all the ladies in the building, quartermaster, everybody in that building, Captain Wolf, it's an amazing team that we've built. It's a seamless team. It's a team that everybody, we laugh a lot. Our doors are open all the time. We don't have shut doors in our building. And we really built a family concept there, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm so proud to have said that I had an opportunity to work with you. And my first EA, Lisette, is here today, and I appreciate you, Lisette, and brought me in the door and got me set up. And I know I'd say things sometimes, you just kind of shake your head, but you learn. We do it with a smile, and we have fun and get stuff done. I'll keep that PG, but that's kind of our motto. To my command staff, Chief Bridges, my training chief, Chief Burt, my Chief of Operations, Chief Johnson, my Chief of Administration, Chief Sears, my EMS Division Chief, the Chief McCune, my Fire Marshal. Now you're out on your own, so you're at the big kids table, but I'm so proud of you. But as a group, our command staff and how we operate, I never had to worry about trust. I never had to worry about when we made closed door decisions, it's full on. We talk, we cuss, we discuss, and we're straight with each other. We hold each other accountable, but I don't surround myself with yes men. I want people that tell me yes and no, what we need to do, or no, I don't agree with that. And so the men and women that come in those rooms and we have those meetings, my expectations is, why do you disagree, and let me know why, because that's the conversations we need to have. But when we walk out those doors, we're unified, and hopefully nobody out there ever knows whose decision it is. It's the command staff's decision, but that's how we focus. That's how we work together. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated that, because my ability to stay focused on what I needed to do to be the advocate for the department, to be the buffer between our staff, city management, elected officials, to be that cheerleader that I needed to be, because that's what the job is of the chief, is to be the cheerleader. You allow me to do that. The succession plan, if I'm out of town on a cruise or wherever, I didn't have to turn my phone on because I knew it was going to be handled, and I know it's going to be handled moving forward. The job that you all do is exceptional. I'm proud of the job you do, and the fact that I've had the opportunity to serve with y'all is an absolute blessing. Chief Burt's forgotten more about the fire service than I've learned in 33 years, and every day I learn something new from him. And there's not many people that read the NFPA periodicals just because they like to read them. I mean, who does that? But he does. He can tell you he's exceptional. But like I said, we have differing talents. We all have different talents, but when we mesh together, it makes a beast. It makes a beast that's very efficient and very effective. And we hold each other accountable. And the first thing we hold each other accountable to is the fact that they come first. Our citizens come first, and our members come first. And every decision that we make is based on y'all. And I know sometimes it may not seem like that, but our first question to each other is, how does it affect our people, and how does it affect the community we serve? That's what it's all about. And that's not going to change. There's going to be transition. And Chief Johnson's going to be our interim. You're going to do an outstanding job, and it's going to be a great experience for you. But he's going to keep it moving. The momentum is going to continue, because this animal, this beast, is going to stay together, and they're going to continue to move it forward. They don't need me now. I'm going to step down, step aside, and you're going to, in a week, you'll forget. What was his name? Say something. But I'm really excited to see where we go as an organization. And like I said, we're going to still be living at 3002 Eagle Lake Drive. So I expect Engine 2 and 3 to honk every time they come by there, just like they did the other night when I was watching the UFC fight, which was great. But as a closing, it's always been my goal to leave it better than I found it. And I always talk about that, but we have done that here. And we've hugged, we've held, we've had a lot of hurting people over the years, but I do feel like at the end of the day, we've got the BBs back in the bottle. And I think you're heading in the right direction. I know you are, and I'm excited to see where we go in the future. Can't go on anymore. I won't take any more of your time, but all I can say is, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the experience. I appreciate you allowing Stacy and I to be a part of this, and we'll continue to be part of the PFD family. And thank you all for being here today. Appreciate it.
On a personal note, I would like to say thank you for holding the wheel steady as we navigated those waves. At this point of the ceremony, I'd like to introduce the history of the fire department uniform inspection. Since the earliest days of the fire service, uniform inspections have symbolized more than just appearance. In the early volunteer era, firefighters wore little more than their everyday clothes, but even then, pride, readiness, and identity mattered. As the fire service became professional in the late 1800s, uniform inspections were adopted to reinforce discipline, unity, and public trust. Influenced by military tradition, chiefs used inspections to ensure firefighters were prepared, presentable, and accountable, not just on the fire ground, but in the community they served. Over time, inspections evolved from formal lineups to a broader reflection of professionalism, clean uniforms, proper insignia, and attention to detail. They became a reminder that how we present ourselves reflects how seriously we take our mission. Today, uniform inspection stands as a quiet but powerful tradition, one that honors those who came before us, reinforces our standards, and reminds us that professionalism begins long before the alarm sounds. Honor Guard.
Uniform personnel, okay, got it. Uniform members, dismissed.
Uniform members, you may have a seat. The Honor Guard will now present a flag to Chief Taylor that was flown over Pearland Fire Department headquarters. Chief Taylor, if you'd join me up here. The tradition of the fire service tap out traces its roots to the earliest days of firefighting, when bells, gongs, and telegraph taps, that's about right, were used to alert firefighters to emergencies and signal the completion of calls. In those early years, a series of taps or bell strikes marked the beginning and end of duty. Over time, this practice evolved into a symbolic final signal, used to honor a firefighter who has completed their last call. From the start with bells, it has transitioned to a more modern world of the handheld radio. Today, the tap out represents the final alarm of a career. It is a moment that signifies dedication, sacrifice, and a lifetime of service to others. Each tap acknowledges the countless calls answered, the lives touched, and the brotherhood and sisterhood built along the way. The tap out is not an ending, but a salute, recognizing a firefighter who stood the watch, upheld the traditions of the fire service, and now answers their final call with honors.
You don't think I know how to turn that on?
Track 3.
Figured I'd do it for you.
Econ from Chief 300. We'll see if they answer.
Chief 300 from Ecom, go ahead.
Chief 300 is out of service for the final time. 300 clear.
Chief 300, Chief Taylor, as the 4th Fire Chief of the Pearland Fire Department, we would like to congratulate you on your retirement. It has been an honor to serve alongside you for these last 3.5 years of your 33-year career. Your accomplishments are too many to list, but all should make you proud. Enjoy your family, good luck in the future, and travel as much as you can. Don't forget about us, and stop by every now and then for a cup of coffee. Out of service for the final time.
300 received. Thank you. I think that's it.
I got more to say.
You do? Okay. Am I sitting down?
Yeah, you can have a seat. Before I turn it over to the pipes to close us out, I'd like to invite everybody for fellowship and a private word with Chief Taylor afterwards if you wish to have one. Thank you all for being here. I'll turn it over to the pipes to close us out. That's it.